Alrighty, I'm back. I did glue the stiffener on, and I want to make sure that that clip is going to be up far enough, and I think it's going to be a pretty good position there. I usually, when I rivet it to this piece, which will be the stiffener. So before I do anything with it, I'm going to clear it. Well, not clear, it's put my Resolene on it, which is, that's clear, okay. But I'm going to punch my holes, get it ready to go. And then I'll push this unit on here on the holster once I've got the gun ready to go in, which means I have to stitch down the stiffener first. So I have to even this out, and for that I'm going to use my sander over here. Well, my drill press with the sander in it. So I'll be right back. Well, that wasn't so bad. Goes pretty quick on the with the sanding drum in there. This leather, I don't know what the deal is with it. If it's from just an old ass cow or what it is. I think I got a splinter in my finger here. I can't see it. A couple other projects I'll be sharing with you later. Doing a test run on one of them. Here I got some 150 grit. I'm just going to use this, kind of round things over a little. The edge beveler doesn't, it bevels it, but it doesn't round it. I don't like any sharp edges. And sometimes I'll use a Dremel to do this. But really, the Dremel is kind of much. Now before the stiffener goes on, the bottom edge, this bottom edge here of the stiffener needs to be burnished and pretty much finished before you can put it on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to burnish these edges now. Still feels like I got a splinter in my finger. And grab our tan dye, tan dauber. Try to do this side by side so you can see just what the burnishing accomplishes here. So I'm only going to burnish about half of it. Now this is the first burnish, so it's still kind of rough. but I've really pushed that dye in there, and the rubbing heats it up a little bit and starts smoothing everything out. I'm not going to finish burning it until I've got it stitched, because it seems to, when you stitch, it seems to squeeze it together and leaves you a little ridge in the middle. So when it's done, it should be nice and smooth, just like this is here. And you can't even really see that there's two pieces of leather meeting there. So that's what it's gonna, this was the first one. It's all formed and is actually really nice. Aside from that pocket clip needing to go, or that belt clip needing to move over a little bit, it came out pretty well. So hopefully this one will be just a little bit better. I'll give you a little idea. I'm going to finish burnishing this, and I'll probably sand it again. This was 150 grit. I'll sand it again with some 220 and take a little more out, and that's about what it's going to wind up doing. So I'll be back. That's how I like to see it before I do my stitch line, because like I said, I know it's going to push out a little bit in the center, and then we'll really smooth it out nice afterwards. So I have a couple of these. This one is set to what I like my stitch, the setting that I like my stitch lines at. I always start on the bottom. Here we go. Stitch line done. To mark everything, here goes my phone. Must have a message from somebody. I usually will go in the corner here. I'll take right in the middle. I'll try to go in the middle up here, and I'll fill in whatever needs to be on each end and down across the bottom. So I'm just marking the holes because I will drill them. But here I'm going to kind of, well, I can go just like that. I'll put them right where I want them. And I'll do the same on this side. And it just looks better if you have a spot right in the corner, and it holds better. So my sides are marked like that. Now we can switch out to the 4-hole. Oop, not yet. A little more light. You may not be able to tell, but I surely can. This one I gotta hit just a little harder because well, punching twice as many holes. So any unevenness I want to keep towards the middle. I'll take go back to my 2-prong because, you know, get one more this way. Yep. And we come a little bit off there. If I just kind of press a little bit, I can see. And you want to keep them as even as you can. Sometimes I got to go to a single prong and just kind of eyeball it a little. And it looks pretty good. We'll do it across the top. And while we're pretty close, there, we got a slightly wider gap here, and a slightly narrower gap here. But once it's stitched, you'll never know the difference, and it's okay. Take this over to my drill press and drill out the holes, and get her stitched up.